What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 93 of the Taste Cast, our weekly podcast where we talk about things, react to things, do a bunch of random shit. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And we're back to doing Tasty Cast. Quick reminders to play The Surge and Conan Exiles. You have a week left to download those, play those, and come back at the end of the month, which is next weekend for Plus Club. Let us know what you thought of those games. We'll let you know what we thought of those games. And our game of the month is Civilization 6, which we will also be talking about next weekend. Let us know what you thought of that game as well. We have a Discord link down below. Talk to us anytime, all the time. And we are on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you'd prefer to listen to us because you don't like looking at things with your eyeballs. If you could choose, you'd have them removed. We have that audio for you. So Tasty Cast. Haven't done this in a little bit. So we typically start every Tasty Cast with what we've been playing. I have a list. Let's start with Chris.
My list is actually relatively short because mostly I can't remember the extensive list of games I played. But it's just been like Final Fantasy 14, kind of doing that end game grind of, we've done most of the end game content that's been released to us story-wise, and so we're kind of doing the crafting content right now because we would neglect it to the very last moment. It's entertaining in its own way sometimes. It's kind of a slog, but...
You sold me and then you're now not selling me.
I mean, it's the twin sword of crafting in this game. It's unique in that it's, very intricate. Like you get to have like all these different skills to progress through crafting and stuff like that. But at the same time, it can be a slog if you hit certain points that you're not like prepped for.
Mm-hmm.
All the crafting and gathering materials.
Even before you said that, I saw in your eyes just like this, like hauntedness almost, like PTSD.
Pretty much.
I saw Chevy in the kitchen the other day doing something, and I looked over at his computer, and he was just leveling up. And I was just like, I asked about it, and he told me he was crafting. I'm like, okay, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I was just making ingots, so. And I don't have to be there for that.
Yeah. You said it cuts...
You get like half the experience.
Which is, fair if you're not there, so they're going to give you anything.
Yeah, that's not a hard factual percentage. That's just me assuming. So
It's about 50-60%.
yeah, it's less. You get less for not participating.
Otherwise, nobody would be there. Mm-hmm. They just fucking leave.
Yeah, and you can't play around with the quality as much that way, or at all, I should say. So you have like a really slim chance to get a high quality version by auto crafting. As for if you're there, you can actually like use skills at the right time and fluctuate all your stats and whatnot, and increase that quality a lot more per turn. So yeah, pros and cons. I was just trying to blast through some levels, so I was just mass crafting a bunch of ingots. So
nice. Did you play anything else?
I've been playing The Surge.
Okay.
Having fun with that.
Uh-oh.
That's about all I'll say with that. Just been playing that, have fun with that so far.
Good.
I played not a lot of Conan, but a little bit here and there. Not a lot.
I've
played more.
Almost only played Conan this month. So I'm on the opposite.
I played Warframe.
I'll talk about it. Warframe.
Yeah, because they redid the Plains of Eidolon, so I wanted to see what it looked like.
I saw that, and it's actually a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like the foliage is completely different looking. Everything
new mobs and everything. Like the weather effects are more apparent.
How insane is it? Is like that's still relatively pretty new content in comparison to all the content that's come out in Warframe, and they just upgraded it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Steve can't make up his mind.
It looks amazing. I think they tried to do it to keep up with what they've done with the other one. Oh my god, I forgot the name of it.
I can't remember right now. Had the song everyone loved.
Yeah, We All Live Together.
Mm-hmm.
That one.
Yeah.
That land. We All Live Together land. Yeah, that one.
It's a good land. It's smart of them to do that though, like sooner than later, because like a lot of times retroactively you have to go back and try and like recode and rebuild everything to catch up with. Even MMOs have dealt with that since fucking the beginning. WoW has re-upped the textures of older models in the game so many times it's stupid. So if you have the time to do it now and just keep the rest of the game updated with the newer stuff, it makes complete sense. So I just was not expecting to see that, but at this point, every time DE announces anything for Warframe, I'm not expecting it. The way that how big their updates are, and how like
Yeah.
interesting the content is.
They also put more, I think, more out of Melee, the Melee 2.0 or 3.0, whatever it is, update. So now, like, your elemental effects on your weapons are more predominant.
Really?
And they have really cool effects on them. Yeah, so I had, like, one that was gas. It literally looked like there was, like, a poison cloud hanging around my fist weapons. It was really cool. Or
So
I think
that's fully released? 2.0?
No, they've done little bits of it here
Okay.
and there. They're just incremental. So right now they did, like, the elemental effects is what they did last I checked.
Yeah, once that comes out, I'll probably hop back in for a little bit because there's so much, not even just new content to experience, but also like upping the graphics, changing visual styles, changing the melee, that it's going to be really, really cool to hop back in and see all that chunk. You know, it's always kind of kind of sucks trying to catch up with what the hell I'm missing, but they've made the game a lot easier to navigate since, you know, the beginning.
The flow of melee weapons is there right now. Like the basic concept of like not having to hold down the switch button to switch between like melee swords or melee guns. You just press the attack button and it just automatically flows into it. And there's no more block. Block is automatic now when you're not swinging if you have your melee weapon out.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Huh, that's kind of cool. I like the idea that you're not switching weapons. You can just flow like that. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's really cool because you'll be spinning around like with my sword, and then I'll jump up and shoot, and then slam into them with the sword again. It's really fun.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome actually. Because a lot of times, like you kind of have to pick what you want to use, your range or your melee weapon, and with that, you feel more like a badass because you're already shooting. Then someone gets close, you can swing at them and shit. So that kind of makes sense. That's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's dope. It's great. And then
That's dope.
Civ 6 is what I've been playing. I played a lot of it actually.
We played a lot of it last night.
I played, I think, 2 other sessions with just Keith. I think one just Keith and I, one with Chevy, Keith and I, and then one with all 4 of us.
Yeah, and it worked pretty well. Me and Chevy have played quite a bit of Civ 5, and the online seems to work. It works better than 5 though, but it still has some issues.
Six works.
Aside from people getting kicked out every once in a while.
Yeah, but
might have been
it would
Keith's fucking fault.
Well, could have been, but I was thinking more of the regards of like the reconnecting and getting people back in the game. Seemed to work fine too, though. So
it was really good about getting you back in without you having to do anything too. So that was it's a much better experience online
for sure
than 5 was. Specifically with 5, the longer the match went, the longer, because there's so much more shit on the board essentially that's happening. The computer had to like think about everyone's moves and what it was gonna do, and if you played for like 8 or 9 hours, since we did that one fucking time, we were waiting for like 2 or 3 actual minutes between turns. It was taking forever. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I didn't really see that in this. Every once in a while it'd take a little bit longer than other times with the please wait, but you know, it's got to calculate all the shit that's happening, so it's way better though.
Yeah, it was literally doing the PC's moves though. So because I would like when it would sit like that for a little bit, I'd start checking the map and I'd see the NPCs still moving.
Yeah, that's
around.
what I'm saying. It has to do all that.
So
that's gonna take time. So
it's not a fast-paced game to begin with, though. So you're kind of, fortunately, if you're already playing that game, that kind of stuff's not going to bother you too much.
when you're in the middle of a fucking war, though, man, and you're waiting, oh my god, I was going insane. I was sitting there just tapping my desk like, come on, and then I just watch every once in a while. They're fucking the NPCs fucking just move and then attack my guys. I'm like, come on, let me attack them back. Come on, hurry up.
Yeah.
That everything you've been playing?
That's everything.
All right, I'll hop in next and I'll segue. I've also been playing Civ 6. We played last night. We streamed the whole thing, like 6 hours. It'll be up on YouTube soon. It always takes longer for it to upload to YouTube for some reason. It's on Twitch right now, though. If you want to watch the whole 6 hours, I would suggest hopping into the center where the war happened. That was actually really fun and interesting and frustrating for me. Don't want to talk about my opinions on Civ 6 too much, but I do want to talk real quick that I had a fucking blast playing Civ 6 last night. I forgot how much I enjoy that game. And playing with, friends is always fun. But yeah, I forgot how much my inner conquest-driven dictator is there. Civ really brings that out of me. because I'm like, I gotta expand. I'm playing Rome, and I'm like, I gotta expand this fucking bitch. And I kept growing and growing, and then your fault I went to war. I rewatched the stream too because I kind of remember this. It's really funny. In that stream, if you watch it, I'm minding my own fucking business. I'm slightly like maybe 30 minutes before the war happened. I'd made a joke about like, oh, I got some, because you guys are bitching about people in your area, and below me to the south, what was that, Egypt?
No,
No.
Egypt was below me.
What was that then? She's gone now.
Fucking SCYTH. I can't. It's like Scythia or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
that bitch. You guys were having problem stuff, and I'm like, yeah, my people were like passive aggressive. Every once in a while, they just kind of shoot me some fucking eyes, like we don't like you. And I'm like, I don't fucking like you either. Stay in your yard, I'll stay in mine. And then like at one point, I just saw a bunch of people coming up to my area, like a group of 8. And I'm like, what is this? Charlie's like, oh, those are religious people. They're gonna spread religion into your towns. And like, I don't have a whole lot of experience with Civ 6. I'm just like, wait, what? And Chevy's like, tell me about it. And in my brain, I'm like, they're fucking declaring war on me then.
I mean,
And later I found out it takes time, but I didn't get that info. So I thought they were doing it right fucking now. So I made a joke about like, and literally if you watch that stream, I start mobilizing my dudes as I'm getting this info. Chevy's like, oh, they're going to spread that shit. I'm like, oh, and I start moving all my dudes towards them. And I said something about starting a war. And she was like, it's up to you. And everybody's like, ha, 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 ha. And I'm like, okay. I fucking, I like went up to the front door, knocked on it. I'm like, I'm going to war with you. And as I was clicking, I swear it's so stupid. As I'm clicking declare war, somebody's like, she's got the biggest, or like the person south of
Keith, yeah.
Seth has the biggest army. I'm like, declare war. And Chris is like, oh, he declared war. And fucking everybody's like, oh shit, like we're all going to war then. I'm like, I'm going to war. Fucking you guys can come help me out if you want.
that was frustrating because like
that
I was landlocked.
And one thing that I fucking, there's something, because I've played a lot of Civ 5, so like, and I've waged a lot of wars in Civ 5, and it's pretty similar to this, but in this, like, you got to like bring like siege weaponry and shit to get over the walls, or have your units be able to get over those walls. And when I first started it, like I had like this fervor of like, I'm gonna fucking destroy these people, and like I ran up to the wall and I hit it and it did almost no damage. I'm like, shit, and they started shooting arrows into my guys, and I'm like, okay, fuck. And I start backing them up. And I start bringing siege towers in. They're destroying them, stuff. They're prioritizing them. Eventually, I got like a castle surrounded. All my dudes are hitting it. And then, like, as one of my groups fucking die, my siege tower comes in, and we're just like taking the fucker down. And it like actually, it was like this whole operation I had to conduct, and that's something that 5 didn't have, in my opinion. 5 was just like, okay, you're fighting, they're dead. Next one, fighting. This one I was like strategizing more, and I fucking loved it, although I was stressed out as a motherfucker. Like at first I was like, fuck yeah, and then my like money started draining, and it started going on forever, and I started getting like fatigue, like I would assume a real leader in war would get. I was just like, and every once in a while I'm like, do I want to keep doing this? I'm like, I have to. I have like, what she's gonna fucking steamroll me if I don't. And then like after a while, I like once I destroyed their main city, I was just like, fuck yeah, like it's just a morale boost instantly. And I started moving my guys to the next area. And after I destroyed the first city, she's just like, okay, fucking let's figure this out. I'm like, nope. I hung up. It's like, bye, bitch. And then after that, she starts hitting up Chris, and she's like, what the
Constantly.
fuck? Why is he doing this? Can you get him to stop? And Chris is like, she's hitting me up. I'm like, don't fucking hang up on her.
Bitch, we on three-way call. He said no.
And yeah, like that was a 6-hour stream, and like 3 hours of it was that fucking fight.
Easily.
Yeah. Oh, I went through the stream. I was checking it out. I was like, that lasted forever.
It was so frustrating too because like I wanted to send units over, and I realized how far away me and you were, like ocean wise, and I was like, I don't have boats or that kind of tech. So I was just like,
everybody was like trying to like help out the war effort, and like you guys are on the like far west side of the map. I'm all the way to the east, and I'm like all spread out, and fucking Keith's like next to me. And then he was able to send some people over because he was more advanced than I was. But
his water distance was shorter too.
Yeah, but he got fucking stuck behind mountains. So by the time I had destroyed the first city in this long ass war,
he had made it.
Keith, he had like 2 people that showed up at that point, and he only got to attack like one fucking location out of like the 4.
Well, it's funny too because I think as soon as we all realized the amount of time it was going to take us to get over to you, it just turned into how much money do you need?
Oh, I'd say the biggest contributor is I got to a point where I was like losing. I was hemorrhaging money after a while.
I think we lost Chris.
And
Oh, welcome back.
and I was hemorrhaging money and fucking every once in a while I'd be like I need funds and fucking you guys all sent me some, but I didn't know how to accept it yet.
Yeah.
So I was still fighting, just running out of money. And I kept looking at my money. I'm like, I thought they're gonna send me fucking money.
Sent you a
And,
good chunk.
You guys sent me checks I didn't take to the bank because like eventually I looked in there and I found them all. I'm like, oh, and I started going, and all of a sudden that's when your guys' money just like disappeared. But I beat the bitch. She's fucking gone like forever. And I'm looking down at Indonesia. I'm just like, you motherfuckers, they're sending religion up to my place too. And I'm just like, you can keep it down there, but if you try and take me over with your religion, I'm going to literally come down there and take you over. So,
Yeah, I'm having that problem with Japan right now. They are sending so many out.
those
It's ridiculous.
motherfuckers killed my spy. I'm very upset
They
about
killed
that.
one of mine too.
I was taking money from them, and they're like, nope. So,
I mean,
yeah, I could probably talk for a while. That was a really good stream, though. Check that one out. It was really fun. Somebody fell asleep during the stream. That was funny. And I'll keep it vague. And yeah. Expect a good conversation for Game of the Month when it comes to Civ 6. Because, like I said, I had a fucking blast playing that. Okay, so my list. Outside of that, Civ 6. Played the Surge some more. I've played it before this month. I bought it when it came out. And so what I'm really doing is like revisiting it. I'm, playing past the first boss essentially. And I'll talk about that for Plus Club. Conan Exiles I've been playing pretty much all month. So we'll talk about that. Although now I have like 4 compounds all over the map for different resources. I think I'm like level 50, 49 or 50 now. So I've played quite a bit. Yeah. That's another game I'm trying to conquest. World War Z I bought on a whim, which is really weird because we kept watching videos of that on the show, and every once in a while I'd be like, yeah, it looks okay. It looks like an indie game, whatever. And but it, looked fine enough. And then recently I watched or read something that was like talking about like, oh, World War Z's fun. I'm like, is it? And so I looked it up, and every video I found was people going, this game's a lot better than it deserves to be. And I'm like, that's intriguing. You go into the comments, people are like, yeah, this game's awesome. What the fuck? Like, why is a movie time game this good? And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So if you don't know, World War Z is based off the movie, which is weird. In it, there's 4 cities you get to go to with 3 levels apiece. So what's that, 12 levels in the game so far. Each city has 4 playable characters that are completely different in each one, just to kind of fit that theme of where you're at. It plays exactly like Left 4 Dead, except for third person. It is Left 4 Dead 3, except for in third person. There are multiple classes that you can pick, so it's kind of omnipresent in the sense that if you're playing like the gunner class, whatever level you're playing, whatever random character you're playing as, and they all have dialogue, which is really cool. So they put a lot of work into that, and the animations look great and all that shit. You're still going to be your class, and as you play, you'll level that class, and it has skills and stuff, which is very inviting to me because I like progression. Also, weapons, the more you use them, they level up. There's different variants that you unlock per weapon. There's a lot of weapons in the game. So there's quite a bit of stuff in this game. It also follows the same formula as like the movie and the book, where the zombies will create like zombie pyramids. They'll just rush in and just start like climbing on each other. So if you're up high, they start piling up, and you have to shoot them down and shit. One thing I really like about it too is the zombies, and Left 4 Dead did this years ago really well, but the amount of zombies on screen at once is really crazy. They just come running in. But if you look at their animations, they did a really good job on emphasizing that they are literally trying to kill you no matter what. They don't have any emphasis on, keeping themselves alive or anything like that. They just run at you. If they come around a corner too fast, a lot of times they'll fucking fall down and roll and get back up, start running. They'll like trip over shit and like run into walls and jump over cars and stuff like that. So you just have like a group of fucking zombies just like chaos running at you while you're just unloading into the crowd, and it's really fucking neat looking. I've only played 2 levels, so I've barely played the game, but I do want to stream it because like myself, when I found out that people were liking the game, I'm like, that's weird. So I kind of want to show people like it's actually kind of good. So, yeah, if you've been waiting on Left 4 Dead, play Vermintide and Vermintide 2. But also check this out, because this is way closer to what Left 4 Dead should have been by now. Because Valve is scared of 3s, and it's really annoying. They're just like, 2's good. What about 3? We like 2. 2's a great number. Maybe if we could just skip to Half-Life 22, we'll make that. But no 3s. Yeah, so World War Z, I would recommend. So far, I bought also Pagan Online, also on a whim. I was on Steam and I saw it and I was like, that's interesting. I clicked it and I saw an ARPG and I'm like, ooh, I like those. I like ARPGs. Looked at the ratings on it, they're mixed. So I'm like, that's always a gamble, because if it's mixed, everybody's saying they like it and dislike it. It's always easier if you just see like it's overwhelmingly positive. I'm like, okay, that game's probably fucking awesome.
Right.
And if it's red, you're just like, fuck that. So I look in the comments and people are kind of giving their complaints, but I'll explain real quick. Pagan Online is made by the guys who make, was it World of Tanks? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So free-to-play company made a premium game. It's, I believe, $35, $30. So you buy it, you get the full content, which, I approve of. And it is fantastic looking for an RPG. So think Diablo 3 or anything like that, but with better graphics, better animations, really good graphics. Like, I was really impressed with how this game looks. Like, I can't believe they put that. Like, I'm looking at like a free-to-play game, and I look at this game, I'm like, holy shit. You guys can make a really good looking game. Like, I'm glad that all that money you're raking in with that free play game, you made this premium ass game. Mm-hmm. So the thing that differentiates Pagan Online from other ARPGs is quite a bit. So it plays kind of like if you ever played Battle Right, it plays just like that. So WSAD controls your character. Where your mouse is at on the screen is where your character's looking. So if you're playing on a controller, it'd be more like a twin stick shooter in a game. Like a top-down asymmetric twin-stick shooter. You start out with 3 characters to pick from, and you pick one, and that's the one you got. So you only get to pick one. After that, as you play the game, you start accruing a currency that allows you to buy new characters, like heroes, pretty much, almost like a MOBA. It's really weird. I think there's like 8 or 9, 8 characters in the game. So there's quite a bit of people to unlock. Even the other 2 you didn't pick from the 3. Each character has a role. So they have skills already predetermined for them that they already have when you start playing the game. You get to modify those, but they stay the same. So when you play, you can actually be like a tank. You can be like, a damage dealer. So it kind of has like a hero role / MMO feel to it. It's really interesting. There's a big emphasis on crafting. You go into a level, the levels are all actually kind of bite-sized. You go in, you do some shit, you leave, because they know that in these games people want to grind, so they want you to get in and out, get rewards, whatever. So think like Monster Hunter in a sense that you have to find materials to craft better items, stuff like that. So it's a really weird amalgamation of a lot of fucking games. It's really, like, I don't even know my opinion on it yet, aside from it looks great and plays really good. The action feels really good. The combat's way slowed down compared to any RPG or ARPGs outside of like Path of Exile, because that's probably one of the slowest ones. But this, like, you actually fight a boss and you're like there for a while fighting him and like jumping back and dodging and hitting him, stuff like that. So it doesn't feel like Diablo in the sense of you're just lawn mowing through a fucking crowd
or Torchlight
until you pop and blow up. Well, Torchlight, you're just running and items are flying out of everywhere.
Fucking seizures are happening,
catching them everywhere. But yeah, it's a really, really interesting game. I want to play it more, but it is so different than what you'd expect from an ARPG, and takes so many ideas from so many things that are not ARPGs that when I looked at that mixed reaction, you look at what people are saying, those are the things that they're saying they don't like, is those things that are different. They expect an RPG, and I get that, because, you'll always be able to sell one of those games to me unless it's garbage. So if I'm buying one of these games, I'm going, oh, fuck, a new Diablo-type game. Awesome. But they make a good point when they say like the genre feels stagnant. I like it's that genre is cracked to me, so you can't tell me it's stagnant. I'll keep playing it forever. But if you want to try and do something different with it, I encourage it, and they absolutely did. And I think they did a pretty cool job. I'd like to play with people though, because it's cooperative, of course. And that idea of having roles as characters is something that you don't really get a whole lot of out of ARPGs, because like you can do that in RPGs, but it's still so like individual based. Everybody's just killing shit and using their moves or whatever. Whereas in this, it does feel like you can be a support character, you can be a tank, you can be a damage dealer, which is really kind of a neat idea. So I need to play it more, and then I'll come back and let you guys know what I think of it even further. But just explaining to you what it is, if you're curious on picking it up, because it is not what you're expecting if you haven't done research on it. So, but it's cool. Last thing I played, I think, is Dreams. Bought that in early access. If you want to buy it in early access, you can get it right now for $30 on PS4. And I don't know where to start with that game, because it's not a game. It's like it's like a UI. It's like they made Windows to create anything you want. It's really crazy. So, me and you forget what it's called. Oh, Project Spark. Now I remember. So there's a thing on Xbox that came out a while ago, and now it's gone. I think Rare made it. It's called Project Spark. You were able to make your own games. It's pretty basic. And I think I did a stream of it, or TLG Plays, a while back, where me and Cody went through and just kind of checked out a lot of the player-made things. And it was more like funny because they're all kind of ridiculous. Dreams is that idea, but like times 10, times 100. I don't know where to start. So in Dreams, you essentially make whatever the hell you want to make. And they made the tool so user-friendly and comprehensive that everything designed in the game that you're looking at from Media Molecule was made in that game with a PS4 controller. So they made the engine, and then the game itself, all the stuff you're looking at, all the animations, all that shit was all made within that game with a PS4 controller, the same way you're going to be making things. Which is really crazy when you play it, because there's some really insane looking shit you're looking at. Like animated, like 2D looking, like pencil drawn animations, and 3D like particle effects flying around shit. I really encourage you guys to go on YouTube and watch a video on it, because it blew my mind. Specifically, when I say you can make anything, you can make anything. So, for instance, you can make assets of any type. So, say you want to, like, you don't even want to make a fucking game. You just want to design buildings. You want to design mountains. You want to design trees. You want to make
animals,
weapons, animals, people, whatever the fuck you can think of. You want to make cars. Doesn't matter. You can make those things without any purpose, and you can put them out into the ether. And people can look at those things and go, I really want to use that. And they'll take that, and they can follow you as a creator, and they can put in their own things. Say you don't want to make that shit. You want to make video games, which you can. It's really crazy. You can start working on a game and take other people's assets or make your own. You can do all the animations yourself, like literally everything in the game you just do with your PS4 controller. It's really fucking weird the way it works. You can also use the Move controllers, which is really interesting too. I have those, and I was just like moving my arms around and like designing shit, and I'm like, this is insane. And animations as simple as like taking a part of your model, whatever you made, and moving it and telling it to record the movement. And then you can loop it or do whatever the fuck you want with it. And it's all really just kind of like user friendly. There's a whole like masterclass in the game that will teach you how to use everything too. And it's really intuitive. You're actually working with the tools in the game, while a video in the bottom right corner that can be minimized to just hear the audio or watch it shows you how to do it. And it's like really playful and stuff like that. So it's not like intimidating. Also, you can make music in this, which is really kind of crazy, because I myself am a music producer. So I was looking at what they allow you to do, and it's really crazy. You can take an instrument that's already in the game, or you can import sounds. You can do audio work. You can do vocal work, whatever the fuck you want. You can import it externally outside of the game from their website, or you can record it into the game with a microphone. And you can use those I'm going to go back for a second. So there's so much to this game. It's crazy. You don't have to make fucking video games. You can make movies. There's literally like when you're going through sections and shit, you can make like animations. You can make movies. You can do whatever the hell you want. You can just make songs, and people can use your songs. But when you do music in the game, you pick an instrument. Media Molecule has already supplied a shitload of them, and they all have modulation, if you know what I'm talking about. They're pretty much like pretty in-depth synths, which is really crazy to me, because when I was looking at what you're able to do with it, I was like, this is literally at the least like $10,000 worth of fucking production fucking equipment.
Yeah.
In a $30 game. But then other people can upload their fucking sound kits. I was looking at this one dude. There's just like drum sounds and shit, and you're able to use your controller to make those noises. You can change it, you know, like A minor, fucking D major, like whatever the hell you need it to be, and you can record it as it goes. And where you're recording it, where it shows the sound signature, you can turn it sideways, and when you turn it on, you can kind of see the tempo of the notes
metronome.
floating at the, not the metronome, the tempo. But there's a metronome you can turn on that are floating at it as it's coming. And then you can also take that, like you're like, oh, I like the way this sounds, but it's not quite there. And you can take it into something that looks very, very much like Ableton or FL Studio, if you're familiar with those things. And you can edit it, like I'm very used to doing, in like a whole fucking tool set that allows you to completely make music. Like it's not just like, oh, here's a pre-rendered beat, just slap that onto this and use our pre-rendered synth and go woo woo and just put that on top and clip it in. Like you can literally from the ground up create fucking music. And that's insane to me. Like I was literally like, the show was watching it with me, but I was like having a fucking fit. Like they were like talking about these features. I'm just like, what? How the fuck are you? How'd you make this? Yeah, I can't wait to see this game a year from now, because I've already, the first thing I did, and I want to stream this game as well. First thing I did was I hopped into other people's dreams, essentially what they've been making, because I want to see what people are doing. And I checked out Media Molecules ones, and those ones are pretty neat. But the ones that actual people are making, as if people at Media Molecule aren't actual people, I thumbs up fucking every single one of them. They're all fucking neat. I was just like, you can even make this. Is insane. I played a first-person shooter that played pretty decently. Like, it was weird. I was running, jumping, shooting with a machine gun. I pulled a pistol. I was shooting things and shit. So I was like, somebody made this with this? I played one where you're in a Jeep and I was just driving through a jungle. I was like, this is neat. I played PT. Someone recreated PT in this, and it actually was creepy. Had all the same sound effects and shit. I don't know how they made it that quick. But you had to go through the hallway multiple times and shit. And there's all these, I mean, there's a couple things that are a little different, and the graphics aren't as good, of course, but it was very impressive. There's one that had a really good song I really dug, but you're like this robot out in this like Martian landscape, and you could tell the person made this robot design and shit, and it's animations. And I was just like walking through this like landscape, and the music just builds or whatever. And then you get to the end, and it kind of zooms out slowly. So it's kind of like just kind of showing off animation and you know, theming and stuff like that. And then there's a couple that were just like people testing the best graphics they could get out of Dreams, and one was called Metro, and it's just like a camera angle of like a underground metro station, and like you could like turn it was like a benchmark. It would like slowly move through the you know, level, showing you all the details they put in, stuff like that. And I was just like, someone sat there and made this. Yeah. That's crazy. That guy actually just does that. I was looking through his stuff. They're all benchmark videos of designs, essentially. And so like you got people already embracing all these different aspects of Dreams, that like you're gonna get the collaborations and people making something really crazy. I don't know how big you can get with these, but I guess you could make individual levels if you wanted to. But there's so much to this game, it's overwhelming, that luckily they were so smart in the way they did their masterclass, because it's really easy to follow. And there's a video showing you exactly what they're telling you to do in the bottom right corner, like you're watching YouTube or something like that. And it works really well while you're actually doing it. I want to go through the whole thing, but yeah, there's so much potential to Dreams. It's insane, and it's $30 right now. I would highly recommend picking it up if you like creating things at all in games, because this will let you do everything you can think of probably as of right now. I didn't like we haven't worked our way up to this yet in gaming, so I'm just like, this exists. That's crazy. This is what they've been doing since LittleBigPlanet 3, which has been a while. So, you know, props to them for really, you know, before I was like, oh yeah, Dream sounds kind of cool. I like the idea you'll be able to make things and show people your little dreamscapes and shit. And now there's like, yeah, make whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. I'm like, okay, like what? And they're like, anything. Make anything. I don't care. We gave you all the fucking tools. Thousands of dollars worth of fucking, you know, sound design equipment and shit. It's just, it's insane. So I can't wait to get further. I haven't even started building anything yet because I just keep exploring what other people have made because I'm just like, this is fucking crazy. So, yeah, it's very cool. And I know when the game fully releases, there's going to be some kind of campaign, they said. So there will be something to do through them, but they said the whole campaign will be designed from in the game. So they made it with the PS4 controller, the same way you're making stuff, just to show you that, as they said, they don't cheat. They do it just like everybody else. So really encouraging to, you see something and saying they made, and you're like, I can make that. Mm-hmm. So it's very cool, and it just fucking blows me away what they've been able to allow people to use. So yeah, mind is blown.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm really tempted to buy it, even though I'm not most creatively inclined individual.
It doesn't matter. You can interact with their shit. You can make little stupid things. Yeah. I literally want to try and recreate the studio. I want to make little TLG fucking characters with animations and stuff. All sorts of stuff I'm already thinking of, but I got to learn the tools, because there's a lot you can do with it. But yeah, I mean, like, you could hop in there and you can make fucking anything and put it out there, and people want to use it or they don't want to use it. It's fine. Or you can not share it at all. You can just be like, no, this is mine. I made this for fun.
And I may still end up doing it. I even just to kind of support the idea, because it is like kind of just larger than anything that exists.
Yeah,
it's
intimidating.
in creative tools. Not even just for console, just in general.
Yeah. No, seriously, this isn't on. There's no program like this.
Mm-mm. No, and it's funny
aside from being like a game developer, but it's more
Well, for sure. But I remember
classic.
Even growing up and playing things like RPG Maker, Fighter Maker, or
that's what I thought of too.
Stuff like that, and it was very hyper focused.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember like trying to figure out what you could do with that kind of stuff and whatnot, and then seeing this, and they're just literally like, here's a bunch of tools, do what you want, and like you said, what you want. You want to make music. Cool. You want to make sound effects? Cool. You want to make props, models, animations, level designs, stuff like that. I mean, that's all, if you could think it up and you're patient enough to sit there and actually work on it, you can do it. It's really cool. I am curious as well. The size thing was where my head kind of went as well, because if you did want to make like a full-fledged, like let's say role-playing game, that's a big endeavor. So I don't know how detailed you can get in that regard, but you could probably make a good mock-up experience.
You have to memory to build something, but at the very least you could make multiple levels. If somebody's like, but I don't know if it can carry over, so that's what I'm kind of curious about. But,
and like leveling and stuff like that, how would that work? But just random thoughts like that. But even taking that experience and maybe making it into bite-sized pieces, you may not be able to carry your progress over, but if you wanted to play through someone else's story, you still could. So
yeah. It's also really interesting, too, the way the game is played, because it uses the accelerometer in the PS4 controller, which is kind of weird, but it's very precise. Like, they really nailed the movement. It doesn't feel floaty. You also use the joysticks, too, though, or the analogs. So you're kind of like doing this a lot and just kind of hitting buttons and stuff. It's like a full tool that does a lot of shit. It's really interesting. It doesn't feel like you're playing a game anymore. It feels like you're using your PS4 controller like a tool. And then with the Move controllers, it was really interesting because you literally feel like you're grabbing things and pulling them and interacting with them and turning them, stuff like that. The PS4 in the time that I'm fucking around with that doesn't feel like I'm on PS4 anymore. I feel like I'm using some kind of creative tool. And I know I said that already, but it's really hard for me to call this a video game.
Yeah, it's software for sure.
It's that you can make games with. Like, people are gonna be able to make full-fledged games with this, which is just incredible, because a lot of people have been trying to bridge the gap between people who want to make games and people who have actually studied to make games. I remember back in the day, there's a program called, it was like Game Salad or something like that I tried, and stuff even way before that I tried that tried to simplify it. They did a pretty good job, but there's still a lot of things you had to learn and look up online, stuff like this or like that. And in this, everything you need is on that game, and everything it does like gaming tutorial style instructions. Yeah, it just steps you through it, and like the voice is like really like media molecule whimsical, like blah 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 blah. And
even
just
the intro to the entire thing was like basically someone like constantly like patting you on the back, like let's be creative. Let's be creative.
Let's create something cool.
And then they have the moment there where all of a sudden there's a brick wall, and then she's like, "Uh-oh, this is the wall of doubt.
Yeah.
Let's break it down." And you start like breaking the wall down.
Yeah, breaking the bricks out and stuff like that, and it's, yeah, it's really neat. And then last thing is like your cursor, you get to pick. It's pretty much your avatar. Mine's this little red dude who's always just like shifty-eyed looking around. Yeah, and you can edit them after you pick them too. You can like draw on them or add items to them and stuff like that. So your cursor is like your own individual identity, and then when you look at other people, you'll see theirs. So it's kind of like an avatar, but also how you interact with everything. So
Yeah, it's your mouse cursor.
yeah, it's really interesting. It's kind of incredible, honestly, that this exists. And it's $30.
$30.
I'm an advertisement right now. Fucking Media Molecule doesn't owe me anything, unless they want to. Yeah, that's all I got. I could probably just do this for like another 5 hours. So
I'm sure this sounds interesting to Chris because I know he likes making things as well.
I do. I'm very intrigued by it. I'd want to get hands on like hopefully like more of like a VR component because I like to work in a 3D space.
Oh, that'd be
It has
fucking,
VR support. I thought so.
That'd be the way to do it, man.
Double check.
That'd be so
real
cool.
Quick. I thought they said something about that when you were going through the intro to the game for some reason.
Huh. Maybe that'd be cool though, because being able to do that in 3D would be awesome. Yeah. So, but yeah, got any opinions on the Chris though outside of the VR?
It's a tool for people to. It sounds like a really creative and powerful tool for people to get their hands on, which is great because that kind of stuff breeds all kinds of unique and exciting experiences in creativity and art fields and things like that. I mean, even if people just create simple like soundscapes, it's still a work of a labor of love at that point. So it's really, I get a lot of thrill of seeing people's works when they put just so much effort into it, even if it's just like I said, just like a blank screen with a soundscape.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can really make anything. So, Chevy, I got to move it to you. Oh shit. Yeah, it does have VR. That's fucking dope.
Shit.
Yes, what have you been playing?
I've also been playing Final Fantasy 14. I mean, pretty much consistently. Like Chris kind of said, we are just kind of tidying up things that we've skipped over the years. We tend to take long breaks from the game. This has actually been the longest stint of playing since the game originally came out. So that's
I've been playing for like 4 months.
Straight, yeah. So yeah, playing catch up on a lot of old content, which has been fun because it's just stuff we missed and they've made it accessible, which is great. Yoshi P and the entire team, I should say, have been really good about like the older content gets. They try to make it more and more accessible. There's even a point in an interview where he said like at the point a feature just completely dies, the stuff that's available in there he'll make available somehow else for people too. So you'll never like be missing out forever, which is cool.
That's good.
What else? Let's see. We played Conan Exiles a lot this month in general. Obviously, I can't go too into that, but hours upon hours. Not as much as you at this point, but for a while there, I was playing pretty consistently with you.
Yep. Yeah, it's one of those games. It's easy just to like once you start it, you're
there in it. Yeah. I really wish we had an opportunity to get Chris to play a little more because I know you've been playing mostly by yourself. I think it'd be good for you to try the co-op. And then what else have I played? I played I did play a little bit of the Borderlands 1. I came back to it right before they released the up-res version, so I need to go back and try that.
So that's the funny thing too. I was hesitant to put that on my list because I barely played it, but you had played before that released the original version, and I was walking by and I saw you playing. And I was like, "Whoo, that looks old."
Yeah,
and the resolution is weird and shit.
It doesn't fit my monitor, and
yeah. And then I launched it, and I went to all my save is still there, like all my characters, even Borderlands 2, all my shit's still there, which is dope. So I was like, oh shit, I'm fucking back in it. But in Borderlands 1, I looked into the graphic options because I was like, it's been a while. I got a way bigger monitor now and all sorts of shit. I have an ultra wide, so I want to see what the biggest resolution I can get, and it supported full ultra wide. So I was like, oh yeah, they upgraded this, and then I like turned all the graphics up, and it looks fucking good, and the game still plays. Like that game's fucking timeless.
Yeah.
it's still really good. As soon as I start playing, I'm like, oh god, it's like just like smoking a cigarette for a split second. I was like, oh shit, that's why I quit. Fucking, I started playing. I'm like, oh no, I got to get out of this. But yeah, seeing where it did look or what it looked like, and then seeing mine, I was like, holy shit. And I watched a video that showed side by side. They actually did a big fucking change.
That's great.
In the graphics. Lighting's better, shadows better, the foliage is thicker and better looking. The textures are darker and better, and they actually changed certain textures. Although it sucks because some of the grease and blood that was on certain buildings and ground stuff like that is gone. So retexturing it, they got rid of that on accident, or they just didn't put it back on. But other than that, it looks fantastic. But anyway, not to hijack that from
No, I mean, I don't really have a lot to say about it other than I came back to it a little bit after, specifically after they announced Borderlands 3. I was like, oh, I'm going to go through all these again. And obviously that has not happened. I started to play the first one. I got distracted by other games. But I do still fully intend to, especially after talking with you about being able to just essentially do New Game Plus with your old character. I'm just going to do that at this point. Because my biggest problem I was having is I was starting a new character. I was like, oh, I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, in the first one, I think there's the normal difficulty in the next one, and then in 2, I know for sure there's at the very least 3. It's been a long time since I played it, but I'm on the 3rd playthrough in the second game.
Yeah.
And the second one, or the first game, I'm on the 2nd playthrough.
Yeah, so hopefully at some point, just kind of sit down and fly through that real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to play it for the story, just to catch up. Mm-hmm. And then I need to play through pre-sequel and Tales from Borderlands and all sorts of shit.
Yeah, fortunately, Tales from Borderlands would be pretty fast.
Maybe.
Played Civ 6. You already brought that up because we all played together. I did play one game prior with Chris and Keith, as he said earlier. And it's funny because I don't ever consistently play Civ, but I go through stints of it. And I did play quite a bit of Civ 5, and then going into Civ 6, I pretty much knew the gist of it, but and it's very smart on their behalf. There's a certain type of advisor. Like there's either don't tell me anything, like I'm a pro, essentially is what you're saying. And then there's I've never played Civ before, and then this one it's like I haven't played Civ 6, and I was like I'll pick that one. And which was fortunately it was good because I was able to figure out most of it, but there's certain things that they've done, like you've kind of brought up, that they've kind of tweaked and changed and whatnot.
Builders. They're
builders. Yeah. Sorry.
You use them 3 times, they're done, which
Yeah.
I'm still not used to.
Yeah, it's a weird one. But I like that it's just more choice for you. I did get a little weirded out that the lack of being able to automate them, but I'm over it at this point.
Well, I mean, they're a tool at this point, so the automation, it would make sense to still do, but at the same time, it's like buying potions in a game.
Yeah.
You're gonna use them, they're gonna be gone. You gotta get more, so it's more of a resource than anything.
For sure. I also noticed in this game they are very aggressive in the religion aspect.
Fuck yeah, they are. That's why I killed that chick.
It's crazy because they added religion later in Civ 5. So
yeah. Yeah, Civ 6 because we're playing the base game. That's our game of the month, and I'm not gonna be like, all right, everybody get the fucking expansions too. But we're playing the base game, and there's so much more to Civ 6 as its release compared to Civ 5.
Yeah. It's funny because I think it has somewhat mixed reviews on Steam. I wish I would have read through them, but I'm imagining a huge part of it is because it is a different experience than Civ 5.
Everybody's got the Civ they like.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember people bitching about Civ 5 and being like, Civ 4 is better.
Well, yeah, 'cause Civ 5 was a step in streamlining it for newcomers.
Yeah, and I like 5, 6, 4. I played from 3 up, I think. I didn't play 1 or 2. But I like them all, and I like that they all feel different. And I do think that streamlining it to make it easier for people to play in 5, because I think 6 has way more than 5 does, but still maintain that experiment of how do we make this.
It also feels more difficult.
Definitely, which is great because when we played Civ 5 all the time, after a while it became too easy.
For sure.
So, but 6 feels like lessons learned with 5, trying to make it more accessible for people, but also ramping up options, things to do, difficulty, strategy. So I'm really liking 6. But yeah, if you have one, you spend so much time in Civ that if you spend a lot of time in a specific Civ and you play a different one and it doesn't have the same systems you're used to, you're probably, because you put so much time and thought into the strategy and the way you play that game, you're probably going to go, god damn it.
You're gonna be resistant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if you played any game and they changed major factors of it, most people are going to have an issue with it. Luckily, most games don't have to do that. But in a strategy game, I think I invite it because you can always go back. I mean, Civ 5, Civ 4, all those games are so replayable
For sure.
that you know, you can go back and play it. They can make a fucking space Civ and everyone just forgot about it.
Yeah, and I should go back and see what people
That fucking bug is pissing me
have
off.
negative things to say about it. Just because I'm curious. Obviously, unless it's something really petty, I'm really gonna doubt they're gonna be wrong on it because it's gonna be an opinion. So I'm just kind of curious because so far, without talking about my opinion too much, I can't see a reason to really kind of like rag on it. So I'll just kind of leave it at that. And then I don't want to, once again, to not talk about my opinion on the game so much. My experience playing with people, though, was a blast. So, like you said, there's just something really nice about playing a game that has the pace that you can play a game and hang out with people, and it fits into that genre. And I really, it's nice.
The only reason we stopped playing was because it was light outside.
The birds are screaming.
From night.
Yeah.
Like, we played in the middle of the night, and it was light outside, and people were really fucking tired. That's why we stopped playing. Other than that, we probably that game you can just keep going.
Yeah.
You just hang out with your friends.
I mean, the expression is
accomplishing
just one
shit.
more click. I mean, that's
Yeah.
always been the joke.
I did
with
that
Civ,
literally when
so.
we tried to end it. Chris was like, I gotta go to bed. I'm like, hold on.
You're like, I
just
have
one
to
more
finish
turn.
this, yeah.
And then we did the next turn. I'm like, I got 3 more turns. My fucking my religion's almost fucking complete. Goddamn Frado's witness. Shout out to Frado. The scout that could.
Watch the
He's
stream.
legend. He's a legend now.
Watch the stream.
I think that's all I've really played of note. I need to still play. I can't remember the name of the game now. Surge. Yeah.
Yeah, that really sweet drink.
So, but yeah, other than that, we're kind of in a lull of games right now, which is kind of nice.
Fucking not me ever.
No, I don't mean to play, but releases wise, it has slowed down a lot right now, which is really nice. I do want to.
I thought the same thing, and then I bought Dreams, fucking World War Z, and
you have a tendency to always find something to purchase, though.
yeah, if I'm really good at something, it's find something to buy. And that other game, the ARPG, Pagan Online.
Yeah, which I'm also curious about, but I'm really
Pick it up.
gonna hold off for a little bit because I'm trying to be a little bit frugal right now.
Game of the month.
I got something else to buy on Tuesday.
Surge Cola.
Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah, it comes out. I forgot that's coming out that quick.
That's what I've been playing though.
What about Days Gone?
What about it?
All right, fair. That's it.
That's it. Yeah,
That's all you got.
that's all I've been playing.
All right, let us know in the comments what games have you been playing this last week, this last 3 weeks. Let's catch up. What do you want to be playing? What would you suggest us to play? And yeah, I think that's about it. Let's move on to the next topic because that was an hour-long conversation that I loved to death. It was fantastic. I want to catch up with you guys. I did an episode by myself recently talking about the PlayStation 5 specs that were revealed recently. I just kind of want to get your guys' opinions on this. I've already gone through mine. I'll obviously always add my fucking opinions on anything. But if you want to watch that episode, I think it was like 2 episodes ago, if you want to see what I thought of that. But yeah, we're gonna kind of jump. This article fucking sucks. Okay, so anyway, I guess I just settled. So yeah, Mike Cerny came out, started talking about PS5. I'm just going to kind of go off the top of my head with this. It is going to be, first off, backwards compatible with the PS4. So you'll be able to play your PS4 games on here. It is going to be PSVR in mind, so built for it from the ground up. You'll be able to use your old PSVR headset with it, but they will be making one for the PS5. So, old tech still translating over. It's going to have an SSD. So if you don't know what that is, solid state drive, it is, a fucking hard drive that runs faster, to put it simply. They said that Spider-Man that loaded in what was it, 15 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
Was it that long? Dropped down to 0.8 seconds. I watched a video of the two, and it is fucking stupid. If you've played Spider-Man, there's a scene, or anytime you load in the game, it'll show Spider-Man doing random Spider-Man things. So he'll be sitting on the subway or whatever while you're loading to the next section of the game. And when that happened on both the PS4 and the PS5, the screens go black. It showed Spider-Man sitting on the subway, and then on the PS5 went, and it was loaded. You just saw for a quick blip, he was on the subway, and that was it. And then on the PS4, the whole thing played out because that's what it was made for. They made those cutscenes for the loading. PS5 was like, nope, we're not watching that shit. Let's see what else. What am I missing? I didn't say really anything. It's got ray tracing, which is a rendering technology that will also help with the audio. You're going to get better surround sound. But also ray tracing is what they use with Pixar movies to render the movies and make them look so good. This has been introduced in video cards already for PC, but it hasn't caught on because people really don't know what the fuck ray tracing is. But essentially, it will make polygons look better. You're going to get smoother, more circular textures, better everything, really. Ray tracing really affects most things in video, but also audio. I didn't know that part, but when I watched the video, they said it really changes how you're going to hear things, which is really cool to hear, and also really cool to hear that that's going to be on a console that I'm assuming will be under $600. So that's really impressive that you're going to get consumer level ray tracing and this powerful of a console. It's also worth mentioning too, Mike Cerny said that they are confident that the pricing will be appreciated by consumers. So I don't think it'll be $600, but we can speculate on that in a sec. What else am I missing? Do you remember showing?
Well, so the SSD tech is proprietary to the PlayStation 5.
Yep.
They're using a connection method that exists for the PlayStation. That's part of the reason they're able to get those speeds. And they also brought up during that the reason one of the benefits you'll get as well is Spider-Man, and as the example again, can only web sling so fast because the hard drive read speed can only go so fast, and because of this technology, you can make people traverse quicker.
Well, that's
because
the thing.
Loading will happen faster.
With the loading being faster and the more powerful graphics card, Ryzen, what is that? The AMD Ryzen line, 3rd generation, 8 cores of 7nm Zen 2 microarchitecture, bunch of fucking jargon. You're going to be able to accomplish more because, I would say Spider-Man's probably pretty high, close to peak graphics on the PS4. It looks great.
Yeah, it's good looking.
So, what you're seeing is what they could squeeze out of that thing pretty much. I'm sure you can do a little better, obviously, but
It's mostly a good example, though, because of all the loading examples, because of the speed that Spider-Man's supposed to be able to move through and keep everything going. And then the loads obviously were 15 seconds, which is easy to compare against.
We're talking about traversal. The console's also trying to render the city, all the things that are happening in it, the vehicles, the sound,
events,
the events being loaded, while you're also dynamically moving the way you want to move with the animations and the string. And
And then the other thing on there
web.
is that it is future-proofing graphics by being 8K ready. So,
yeah, it's 8K.
Right.
So, whenever the fuck that rolls out as the standard, once we get 4K standard,
it'll be there.
It'll be there, which is very smart because I was doing the research, and it seems most console cycles are about 6 years long. And then the PS3, Xbox 360 was closer to around almost 8 years. So, when they're thinking long term, 8K ready, they obviously, as a tech company, see that 8K will be coming soon. And I guess 8K is the highest definition the human eye can see. So people are pretty set on 8K will be it. I'm sure they'll come out with better ways to show color and stuff in screens, but 8K seems to be a pretty good benchmark to be setting for.
Well, yeah, you're always going to be able to improve things like true blacks and whites and stuff like that. So
Inject it directly into my brain.
maybe.
Yeah. PS6 will just be a cord you put in your fucking forehead. That's a very, very dark future. Yeah, and then let's see what else. Yeah, so PS4 games will be playable on the PS5, which is really cool. Me and Chevy, we're hoping to see all the digital stuff translate over as well.
Which it might, because of this section here talking about the PlayStation 5 services. This is speculation at this point, but
Yeah.
if PSN is going to stay the same and come over and it's still on PS4 architecture.
Because it's worth mentioning, it's off the PS4's architecture and its UI and stuff like that, so it's going to be really easy to transfer things that are already at home on PS4 to PS5.
That's pretty much it.
Yep. They're speculating on the name. I'm going to assume it's PlayStation 5. I actually kind of hope it would be at this point.
There's also speculation the controller would have the screen because they showed that one thing.
And I mentioned that too, and there's no confirmation whether that being real or fake, and there's a really good chance it's fake. But as a dude who's seen a lot of mock-ups of fucking consoles every time new consoles are coming out, people are like showing weird circular consoles and boomerang controllers and shit. That thing looks pretty legit. So if it does have the screen on it, I would love that because I think it's the next step of what they already have put as the touchpad, just having that as a screen.
I think you also said you'd like to see built-in paddles.
I would love to see built-in paddles, especially with that premium fucking controller I have, C40 or whatever. That they're so nice, so fucking nice. Yeah. So real quick before we hop into your guys' impressions, because I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think the price range will be on that? Because with all that stuff,
400 to 600.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that's safe. So.
I mean, I can't. If they go higher than that,
It will not be higher.
That is
than
market
600.
suicide.
Yeah, it won't be higher than 600. Especially when he's like, we think people are going to be pretty happy with this. You'd be an idiot if you went up over 600 and went, you guys are going to like that price.
I say an under 400, I think, is unrealistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, if it was under 400, I
think 400 is borderline unrealistic, but
So do
I also wouldn't put it past them to go ahead and start losing out the gate money out the gate.
Yeah.
Because that used to be console strategy, anyways. So we'll see.
because they'll recoup it. I was looking at numbers of consoles sold, and I remember 360 owning that generation
till the end.
But PS3 sold way more
Right at the
than
end.
360. Well, because they kept it going longer.
Well, they kept it going. The Slim came out, and then the Red Ring of Death started happening a lot with the Xboxes right at the end of the cycle. And so the
Red Rings happened right in the beginning.
Well, like
They built that Falcon chip to fix it.
the effect of it, though, obviously through the long run. I was reading something recently on it, and they're pretty much identical in sales towards the end. At the end, it literally happened right then. So the whole generation was 360, 100%. Just funny, like right at the end, all of a sudden somebody was like, "Oh, bumped it past a little." And that was it.
Yeah, because but they didn't end at the same time, so I'm having problems with that because they were like behind 360 during the relevancy. But one thing that Sony always does with all their consoles, the PS2 fucking got discontinued not that long ago.
2015.
Yeah. So they always play the long game. Luckily with the PS4, they didn't have to. This is one of the first times they're just like, fucking, they just unleashed it and went. Like I'm really curious to see how much PS4 will sell years from now.
Well,
but
I was gonna say the PS2 was such a weird one too because it was like cheaper than DVD players. So it was like the DVD player.
I remember
to buy.
when we first got it, people were like, you can get a fucking was it DVD or Blu-ray?
Well, that was the PlayStation 3 at the Blu-ray thing.
But yeah. Sony's always adding something, just like the PlayStation. You could listen to CDRs.
CDs,
and
yeah.
fucking people were like, whoa.
Yeah.
Not ours, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, that was a big thing when the PS2 first came out. Is people were like, this is like, because DVD players at the time were super expensive. So you get a console. And yeah, Sony's always kind of doing that. But, well, we just went down in fucking history.
We're old.
Yeah. I've been playing games for a while. But all those factors involved, they've already dabbled with the pricing of $600 fucking dollars for the PS3, and it bombed at first. They had to lower the price before they could start making money on that. So, it wouldn't be crazy for Sony to release something cheaper and lose money because they played the long game for so long that they could recoup that. They have enough money to take the loss for a while.
Well, for sure. And then they keep making the same exact hardware for years that it's going to get cheaper to make anyways over time. So they're going to eventually be breaking even
making
and then making
slims
profit
and all
off
sorts
it.
of shit.
And with digital sales increasing anyways, they make 40% off of those, man. So
well, and also if they're using the PS4 architecture and just essentially upping the specs of the whole console, and obviously probably evolving but it's still based off something they've already built. It's kind of like when you're using Unreal Engine. You don't have to spend 3 years making your own engine. It saves you time. It saves you money.
Yeah.
Same thing with this. They can probably put this thing out cheaper because they're essentially selling you the hardware.
It's pretty much a PS4 Pro.
Yeah, it's the Pro.
Pro.
PS Pro. The PPPP.
We kind of discussed this obviously when we were at work, but I think this is going to be the course for consoles anyways, because they've made them so much like PCs at this point. Yeah. So until they become irrelevant and everything's streaming, which is going to be a sad day, but it's happening. So
it's not just going to happen like people keep thinking it's going to happen.
Not
like
instantly,
Terminator,
no.
fucking Judgment Day and shit. It's fucking bum 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 bum, and everybody just has fucking digital now, and people who like physical are just like, oh.
Just wake up and your consoles is gone. They've ejected out the window.
Yeah. As soon as you put it in, it's like, puh, shoots out. Like, nope, you're digital now, boy. We tricked you.
how dare you?
But they'll slowly roll out that, and
sure.
and I mean, I remember, dude, because the economy was so fucked. I remember when the PS3 and the Xbox 360 were out, people in games journalism, they're fucking stupid, were like, is this the best graphics we can get? I'm pretty sure. I think this is going to be the end of consoles. I'm like, where the fuck did you get that idea from? Who the hell thinks that up? Of course the graphics will get better. And then other people are like, we're going all digital. These consoles are the last consoles. And then the PS4 and the Xbox One came out, and fucking everyone loves them. And now people aren't talking about the end of consoles anymore. There's like, what are consoles going to be now? Yeah. So it's just funny how the market fluctuates. So... You know,
I am the console.
Yeah, it's that cord you're gonna plug into your head. Chris, any opinions on the price point speculation? Because me and Chevy pretty much between $400 to $600. Mm-hmm. I think 400 is a hard sell. That's not a hard sell at all. But for me, it's a hard sell thinking about it because that seems really fucking low, and 600 seems really fucking high. And they've already dabbled with that, and their wording tells me it's not gonna be 600, but my brain's telling me got to be $500, $600. But 400 they can do. I know they can do it.
Yeah.
300 would be fucking insane.
They're at Nintendo pricing at that point.
Yeah, I can't fathom that, but if they did that, that'd be huge.
But I mean, it's possible. It's within the realm of possibilities. I mean, if what they're saying is like they're trying to make it so the price point is really appealing to people for the technology you're getting, you know, $399, $499 price range, $400 to $500 seems like an accurate price range, but I would not be shocked if they went to like, $375. Like $300 would be like, what the fuck is happening? But I'd be thrilled.
Yeah,
everyone would be thrilled. I would be skeptical as fuck at its build quality at that point, though.
Yeah, but like, how'd you do that? This is a brand new console. How the fuck are you selling so cheap? What's wrong with it?
Old PS4 cases, and they scratch out the floor and just glue a 5 onto it.
It's literally a PS4 that they had opened, put new shit in, and it's just duct tape shut. And it's like the plastic's bending and shit.
Slightly melting because they had a heat gun it closed.
Fucking, and you plug it in, and you just hear the fan. It's like...
I just think it's funny. We're sitting here talking about the price point of this, and then people will just nonchalantly drop $2,000 on a fucking Samsung Fold. So
I want one.
Just a weird conversation difference is all.
Would you rather spend $2,000 on a phone or a console?
Fucking console.
That'd be a wicked ass console.
Yeah.
That phone better fucking do my taxes and connect to every fucking device and wipe my ass at the same time.
Yeah, I think you can do all three of those things with that phone. Guarantee. I wouldn't suggest one of them, but you could. It folds. Have you ever seen fucking Demolition Man? That thing's a fucking seashell.
Dating yourself again.
I just wish there was more backwards compatibility with it. Just a personal thing. Like I wish it was more than just PS4 stuff. Because I've got a whole box over here of like PS3 and 2 games that I'd like to try out again.
2 and 1 would be easier than 3. 3 is gonna consistently be a tricky spot for them because they did that to themselves. So
that's fine. Fuck the 3. I got more 2 and 1 games anyway.
I can't say
it's
that.
backwards compatible. I'm fucking stoked about it. So let's move on from the price point. Let's talk about backwards compatibility. Chris has expressed he wants it further than PS4. I'm ecstatic that it even does PS4 at all because they didn't have to do that, and they have not been doing that really. I mean, the PS3 was backwards compatible, and they're like, nope. They stopped doing that.
That was part of dropping price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which really sucked because the original PS3 I had that I ended up fucking selling like an idiot was the backwards compatible one.
2 processors.
Yeah. But and it was $600. That was expensive as fucking. That's probably why the price dropped so much. But yeah, I mean, this is about you guys talking, but I fucking love it. I'm so excited because one of the things about consoles is like when you just switch to the next one, you're just like, all right, got to restart over. And this is like, no, I still got my PS4 library. All my shit works on the PS5. I'm just upgrading the console.
I think, I mean, obviously, I'm excited to have more access is great. I think the more important note here is the transition for people will be less hard to chew on if it does both. So, I mean, I'm indifferent. I mean, it's really weird for me because like I'd be okay with the PS5 coming out without it. I am happy they're adding it. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. And I think that this is the better option. What do you mean no? They don't have a standard of doing it. So why would you expect it?
Not doing it and other consoles doing it. I'm tired.
I want to be able to plug in fucking Sonic 3 into the top of that fucking PS5.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Cartridges.
Yeah. So
where's it at?
It came later with the Xbox One too. It wasn't just there.
I don't have that console.
You're missing my
I don't
point.
have that thing you said.
You're expecting a standard that doesn't exist. So
yeah. Xbox rolled it out though, man.
They did,
but they did not start with
aggressively, and that's amazing.
It's one of
but
the
we're talking PlayStation 5 and Sony's passed with backwards compatibility, which is a fucking bouncy road, and they didn't have to do it, and it's great they are.
So. Watch the sub count drop. I'm about to say something bad.
Uh-oh.
When I've been into, I hate debating PlayStation versus Xbox. I like both of them, but when you see these debates happen. One of the biggest things they'll defend the Xbox with is backwards compatibility, which is a good defense.
Yeah.
But in the modern time, you gotta have games to play. Exclusives. It's a good defense.
Dead horse.
Yeah. And it's good though that they even fucking did it like retroactively. And
No,
I'm
for
still
sure.
impressed. Every once in a while, I see like a new game gets announced of like
they just did Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. And here's Sony going like. No. No.
We made a stupid processor for the PS3.
We just gave you a broken name change. What else do you want?
Yeah.
We gave you exclusives. Okay, yeah, you got us there, but what about just fucking quality of life shit? No. Just buy it. Shut up. You got the games.
Shut up.
You're a gamer, right? Shut up.
Just for playing games. Nothing else matters.
Nothing else. You get nothing. No gifting.
That's such a fucking waste, too.
Yeah. See, there's fucking pros and cons. There's
a bunch of cons to Sony's console.
Yeah.
So,
just has really fucking good games.
It has really good games for sure. Yeah. I mean, backwards compatibility. I think you'd be hard pressed to find someone who says that's a bad thing, though. So,
Chris hates it's not enough. It's never enough.
More.
He's about to fucking go roam and fucking invade Sony.
I want to play Commodore 64 games on the PS5.
Fucking not me. I ain't wasting my time like that.
You're trying to give me a fucking aneurysm, man.
No! Sony won't allow it. What are we talking about?
You're asking us questions about the PlayStation 5.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, I got... So
we did price. No. We did backwards compatibility.
What do you think about the hardware, tech, and ray tracing? I mean, obviously, it's just going to be like, it's better. That's good. But are you excited about the ray tracing and SSD?
So the ray tracing, if I was more like into the tech jargon aspect of it, I'd probably be more excited. I expect the system to do better and perform better. Yeah. So
just adding to that, every console you get, like it's funny. We're talking about this at work, but like PC is kind of like has to kind of stick with where console's at. It always looks better than what you're going to get on console, but the people making the games on PC need to be able to put those on console as well. So when when the console gets kind of capped, PC, although it looks better, also gets capped.
Yeah.
Now they're moving to a new console. PC's going to go, woo, we can fucking go crazy now.
Yeah, we can go.
And so that's always really exciting. But standardizing ray tracing, I think we're going to get a really big fucking jump in graphics. Because it's not only just better hardware, it's new technology rendering this. I think we're going to, it's been a while, but because I remember when the PS4 was first coming out from the PS3, it obviously looked better. Mm-hmm. It actually looked quite a bit better. I think this is going to be way more impressive of a jump
because
of the new tech.
We'll see. However, my other point to that is the graphics are fun, but not really that important to me anymore.
Gameplay is important.
I'm not trying to make the argument that game, in that sense. I'm just saying in general, like,
I only play indie games. I don't need graphics.
I love the spectacle of the graphics. Don't get me wrong, but I also like. I'm not expecting that jump.
Yeah,
like
fuck, I am, dude.
To
I got
just
a hard
be
on
like,
right now thinking about it.
Ooh, I just want fun games, and the progression of the graphics getting better is expected to a point. And if they can surprise me, cool. If not, whatever.
My position, though, and this is one of the first times ever with a console that I've thought this way. PS4 could go another or Xbox One or anything. The Switch. Where we're at right now with the consoles, I could go another probably 3-4 years. Mm-hmm. I'm really happy with the consoles where they're at right now. I'm getting great graphics. The games are awesome. So if we're going to be hopping over to the new consoles, I'm pretty content right now, which is weird because I've never felt like that ever with a console. So if we are going to make that jump, it's got to be big. Fucking make me go, okay, I don't need the PS4 anymore. Bye. Mm-hmm. Just throw the baby out the window. Huh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So with if the graphics are insane looking and they show you you can do all this crazy stuff with this thing, I can't wait.
Yeah. The one thing I'll agree with the jump
plus the VR
is the SSD is the big deal for me. I think the increased load time is super important, and I think most gamers would have to agree. The quicker you can continue playing and get into your games, the better. So I think that's the most exciting aspect of the new console is the SSD and the tech they're talking about with increasing load times and being able to make things move smoother while still loading everything. That is the big perk for me, I think.
Well, to see SSD get standardized into consoles is also very cool to see because it does just improve the whole thing. And I want to hope
shit to break then too because there's no moving parts. So.
Yeah, and I want to hope that Xbox will do the exact same thing or make their own technology, but at least match that kind of.
I'd be blown away if
loading.
they don't have an SSD.
Yeah,
because that's pretty much become the standard in PC at this point. So.
Yeah, but pricing, for a while there was kind of steep, so it's kind of cool to see that they're gonna be able to get that into a console.
For sure. And then otherwise, hardware-wise, I mean, the one thing I've said this a couple times about the PS4 that I want to see at the PS5 is don't skimp on the USB drives, man.
Oh yeah.
Give me
a
shitload,
good one.
Please. I don't have enough.
At least 4. At least 4.
The 2 was awful idea.
Just do 4 in the front and 2 in the back. I'll be fine.
That'd be great.
Because with PSVR, you have to use those USBs. Mm-hmm. I have an external hard drive, which is a must for me.
Uses one.
Which uses one. I use a Astro C40 controller, which I have hardwired in. I have surround sound. So my PS4 is tapped with the USBs. I got to unplug shit if I want to take a file I fucking saved, like a video, and put it onto a flash stick or whatever. It's just it's a small process, not a big deal. But it's still frustrating that I'm there needs to be more than just a couple fucking USBs. So that is a really small but big thing, I think is a good point.
Pretty fucking vital for me, just because if I want to use my PSVR, I have to choose to not have my games because they're on my external hard drive, or not have my surround sound headphones.
The PS5 should just be a fucking Borg brick that's just fucking USBs on every side.
Sure, that's fine by me.
Just grab that fucker.
Yep.
Damn. Sure, he's a fucking ninja.
So yeah, that's what I want to see. Lots of USB, SSD. I want it to be as awesome as they're advertising it to be, and obviously, graphics are cool, but it's kind of the bottom of my excitement of the new stuff for the console. So,
Chris, any opinions at all?
For me these days, if you don't have a big leap in your tech,
what's the point?
Why would I buy your console? What's the point of buying it? If it's just a minor graphic upgrade and in solid state drive, solid state drive itself is a really nice tech leap. Don't get me wrong, but graphics for me personally, are really important. I can't sit there and play a game that looks hexagonally if it loads instantly. That's fine, but it's just it needs to look pretty. It's got to look good. I'm so visually drawn to games.
Yeah.
Shallow.
PS4 backwards compatibility wasn't enough for him either. I get it though. He's saying essentially
I get it too. I just don't relate.
He's not excited to buy a whole brand new console if it's not going to fucking jump him into the future.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I feel that.
Buying it if it's the solid state drive is great. Instant load times, like I said, would be great. You know, playing Monster Hunter is more annoying than having to load between every fucking screen, between every fucking town, and waiting. You know, however long it takes, it feels like fucking ages to load into everything.
Honestly, on this console cycle, games don't take that long to load. Every once in a while I'll play a game that has some longer loading than other games, but I never care. Maybe it's my age. Maybe I'm just like so ready to die that I'm just like in my old age that I'm just like, what's a couple more seconds? So hearing, that as a hardware improvement, I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. But I also am not like, fuck, finally. Because I lived in the days of dinosaurs and fucking PlayStation, and you would sit there, and I said this on the last episode, but fucking, you put that disc in, you start up, you wait for the whole thing to boot, and then the game starts, and you just listen in that plastic box, fucking. And you look at a black screen with maybe a logo, if you're lucky, and there'd be a bar, and it's just like, you hear,
Oh, Resident Evil had that sweet door.
oh yeah, those were sweet doors too. I love them.
Yeah.
That's fucking ahead of their time.
It was.
But so yeah, like we're not even fucking anywhere close to that nowadays. Like nowadays, like you hit the start button and like the screen goes black and then like it comes up. You're like, oh, okay. Or like, show like some kind of cutscene while you're loading or something like that. And it's like less than a minute.
So, but here's the thing that I have to argue with that, because they gave the example of it was games like Red Dead that come out that are like 100 fucking gigs, right? Mm-hmm. They take up so much room on your hard drive that it actually not just causes the game to load slower, but actually causes your console to be slower as well because it has so much more. And my PS4, and I don't have a Pro, operates slower now with having like 50 some games installed on a hard drive. It just it really is like struggling to get through things sometimes.
I mean, I agree with that. It's not a debate. I'm backing up my. I don't mind the loading, so that's a good point to bring up. Yeah. But like,
it's quality of life. That's 100%. Why.
No, it's a good thing overall.
No,
I'm just saying, to Chris's point.
No, for sure.
SSD is exciting and it's going to be overall better, and I'm so for it. I'm excited about it, whatever. But at the same time, out of the features, I'm just like, that makes sense. That's good. But like, I'm not having an issue with the loading right now. Mm-hmm. So it's not the biggest thing that like the ray tracing really matters to me. And this is the important thing too, is we all have the specific things about this console that we're excited for.
Right.
I'm all about that fucking new tech because you're going to be able to do shit that the PS3 or 4 can't fucking do.
Yeah.
The SSD, like I said in my prior video, really supplements all the features because everything's going to load fucking faster. And so you're going to be able to render that shit with those new graphics in a faster way that can back it up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, the whole package is going to make something really fucking cool. Because, like I said, you got the new tech, you got better hardware, and you got faster loading. So it's going to be a bigger leap. I really think it's going to be a pretty big leap. I'm going to be really disappointed if they show it and it's like God of War with like shinier head. The sun bounces off his head even better now.
Red Dead Redemption now loads in 30 seconds instead of 3 minutes.
Which would be cool, but like, yeah, no one's even playing that.
I mean, I can't argue that. But...
Except for IGN played with this. There's some Devil's Riders or some shit, Demon Boys or something. There's like this. They role play on the servers in Red Dead, and it's like this group of cowboys that just like they're like, we only ride in fucking rows of two, and like there's just like a row of all these blue cowboys, and they ride in town. They're like, we ride into town, but we don't cause trouble unless someone points a gun. Then we shoot the fuck out of them. They're like, we like to have fun. And everybody else likes to have fun, so that's what we do. I'm like, God damn, dude. I'm all for it. That's cool, but those are the people who are still playing the game. They're living in that game.
Yeah.
I like them better than those assholes who just look around to shoot people, though.
Yeah. At least they have some sort of code of morals.
Yeah. Yeah, they're organizing how they ride their horses. I almost said bikes. Where's the motorcycles at in that game?
Do you have any other thoughts on that, Chris?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
No, I mean, I'm excited for it, but it better be a good jump for me to really like jump at buying it.
Make it worth it.
Yeah,
I think a lot
Make
of
it
that
worth
is
my
going
time
to
and
come
my
down.
hard-earned money.
For sure. And I think a lot of that is going to come down to the price versus what we're going to actually get out of the box too. So,
Right.
which obviously they've been doing this well. I'm sure they'll get it right where they need it to be. So, it'd be really crazy if they pulled a PS3 again, just like it'd be really crazy, for Microsoft to pull an Xbox One again. Like you're going to see, as most companies do, hey, don't do that again. So,
Yeah. What else? As for speculation on that controller, what would you guys like to see? I've already kind of said, like, I'm hoping that touchscreen is real, because the idea of not having to hit like the home button to go back if someone sends you a message and interrupt your game, but just doing that on your controller to type back someone like a phone, that'd be huge. Or be able to do the whole fucking UI from your controller. Like, oh, I want to switch to this game now, and you just do it on your controller and it switches over. It's a small step, but it's a step, and that'd be really neat to see. And then paddles, I would love to see paddles on that controller.
I'll be pretty much happy with whatever they give me in that regard.
Yeah.
You're definitely a controller guy. I don't care as much.
Performance, baby. I'm a performance baby.
But I also don't play like you play a lot of shooters, and I play shooters, but I don't play them on a competitive level. So like, yeah, I just mostly as long as the controller, as long as my hand isn't cramping while I'm playing a game, I'm good. Like that's what I want.
Three most important things to a controller is the analogs and how stiff they are. That's really important to me.
I actually agree with that.
It's very important to me. The D-pad is very important to me, even though people don't really talk about those very often. Just because if you're playing like a fighting game, that thing's got to feel right. It's got to roll really well, and it's got to not fuck your thumb up. And then triggers. Triggers really matter to me too, because some of them are like really curved, and you're just kind of like pulling them in a lot. There's a lot of motion. Or like the PS3 just had these little
plungers,
little fucking flaps. There's like, ugh. And you could like shake the controller and they'd be like,
oh, that's not what I meant. GameCube had the plungers.
GameCube had the plungers. Yeah.
And you could put it on the couch and just like push them in because they were like curved inward. So when they're down, they would like naturally just the weight of the controller would push the fucking plungers in. Whatever the hell.
Especially
I hated those fucking plungers. That's another thing with the triggers. Like those things were fucking stupid. There's glorified long buttons. There's like.
That's what the GameCube was as well. Yeah.
That's the fucking plunger sound.
Though my PS4 controller is getting a little worn out because it's a little sensitive to getting set down now. I've hit the trigger a couple times now.
Buy an Astro C40. Only
I'm
$200.
not doing that.
It's very, very not cheap.
I'd like controllers kind of the way they are right now for the PlayStation, only because like I think it'd be cool to have like a display and a screen, but at the same time that's more distraction looking away from the gaming. Like even now I turn off the color like indicators of like when I'm being shot and stuff like that in games. It just distracts me too much, and I worry about battery life for that kind of stuff for controllers, as well as durability, because I know like phone screens are pretty durable these days, but I don't know how much they're going to invest in putting a lot of money into a phone screen style thing on a controller like that they want to pump out a lot of.
Yeah.
Yeah, battery tech is pretty crazy. So I'm not as worried about that part myself.
I think the PS4's battery's just fine, but yeah, you can turn off vibration, all that shit. A lot of people do turn that off.
Well, even if the PS5 controller had a screen, though, I was saying like your phones are screens and they last.
Yeah, and the
now.
screen would probably turn off in a sleep mode until you got a notification or something. I'm sure you could set up settings or whatever, and that's just speculation too. Because,
depends on what the game code designs for the controller
for sure.
at that point.
I just think it'd be a really cool step because you already essentially have that without the screen right now. You have that touchpad, which I think is a great innovation for a controller. I really love the touchpad on the PS4 controller, and the PS4 controller is the best PlayStation controllers have been so far. It is really good. Especially like a week ago, I was holding a PS3 controller. I was like, "What the fuck? Holy shit!" I was like, they actually made a lot of differences with that PS4 controller. Just aesthetically, it looks similar, but it's very different.
Going backwards is always more noticeable than going forwards.
Yeah.
And I always, the other example I like of that is when people are like talking about 4K right now, and people are like, I can't tell the difference. I'm like, if you did 4K more consistently and then watch 1080 though, you would.
There's a huge difference.
And it's funny because people said that about 1080 and 720, and you show me 720 video, and I'm like, ooh.
Oh yeah.
almost instantly. So I mean,
Man, I'm editing at least two episodes every week. I'm looking between 720, 1080p, 4K when I'm deciding, how I'm gonna export and shit. And there's a giant difference, even in the like bit rate of the export, depending on how much you want to put out. You can have a lower end 1080p video or higher end 1080p video, 720. If you want to spend like a couple hours exporting a 720 video, that'll look actually pretty fucking decent. So there's a lot of parameters in there, but yeah, like the range of what 4K can do versus the other ones is hugely different.
yeah, I mean, you can up-res anything to 4K, and that doesn't mean it's taking advantage of 4K.
If it wasn't
It's
shot or
just
made in 4K, it's not.
4K.
Yeah, it's just
So you can't see the difference because people aren't putting the effort in as much as they will be when it's more standardized. So a good example of that, I guess, would be what's that, Nature
Planet Earth.
Planet Earth 2. Watch that thing. That is crispy. So sorry.
Yeah.
Went on a tangent.
So we talked about controller, console design. I don't really care about that. I'm always more so just I'm curious about what they do. Although I don't like the way the PS3 looks. I think the PS4, I'm just used to it, but I'm also not a huge fan of it. I hate the shape. PS2 is weird looking too. I mean, Sony makes weird looking consoles. So they're fine, and I love them, but they make odd shaped consoles.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
It'd be hard to.
I'm definitely not the person who's like worried about that. Like the person who's like making sure it matches all their stuff in the living room.
Just as a creative person, I always look into how somebody went about designing something.
Well, but I was gonna say is I get the concern though for sure. So and the PlayStation products are very weird for that.
They are.
So.
PlayStation was the most normal looking one, and that came out a long time ago, kids. Back when I was a wee lad.
God, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else really you guys want to talk about when it comes to PS5?
I mean, not really. So we always, when we do these hardware speculation things, this is definitely more like up your alley because you are more interested in that kind of stuff. I'm always more so like once I get my hands on it, I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool, type of thing. Until they do like an official announcement, they start showing it off and stuff, I'm going to just try to be as reserved as possible when it comes to this. I am excited for the prospect of better hardware, but I'm not, like, I guess kind of like you said, I'm not really clamoring for it right now. The PS4 is fine. Like I'm good with it right now. So
yeah, I remember with the PS3 and the Xbox 360, there was like a good 2 years there where I was like, holy shit, dude. All these games are the same fucking game, and they all look the fucking same, and they all feel the same. They all have the same graphics. I'm really fucking bored of these graphics. I'm sick of fucking Unreal Engine, man. Everything's on Unreal Engine, and it all looks the same. Obviously, Unreal is a lot better now. But there's a while there where there's milking the same fucking engine, and every game you had to hold X to run forward, like fucking Gears of War, take cover with the same button, and they're just making the sequels and sequels and sequels and sequels. There was no new IPs, and I was like, holy shit, fucking kill me. Those are the dark days. But we're in a really good console cycle right now. I think it's one of the best ones ever.
Well, and the people paying for the games are less afraid. No, I mean the publishers are less afraid of letting the developers take risks right now too,
for the games,
which is great. That was a big problem with the last generation was publishers were scared to put money into.
They had to put
ideas,
money into things that were gonna for sure get
make
sold.
money.
Yeah,
and now they are okay with people experimenting again, which is awesome.
The only one that came out of that not understanding the market anymore is EA. They're still just confused. They're like, what happened? Is the recession still happening?
Damn,
No.
Keith, get off my lawn.
You don't know what likes fucking single player. Yes, we do. Nope. Can't hear you.
Nope. Huh. What was that?
You want more DLC? I got DLC.
Microtransactions.
You know,
I got
The
plenty of those
DLC's
back
half
here.
developed. You can buy half the DLC now, and you can get DLC for that DLC later.
if they want to be more aggressive on that, they should just do
Stop being idiots.
phone games. They want that,
They should just go over-
multi-million people microtransaction
They should
bullshit.
just go over to Japan and make
Pachinko
pachinko machines with Konami. I'm not gonna miss them. Everything that I love from EA fucking blows now outside of
Bye,
Respawn.
Felicia.
Yeah, you fucked yourself. Whatever. Bye.
A Way Out was good.
Yes. Hopefully they can find works with someone else. But EA is a company. That dude, he's a smug looking motherfucker. I know his philosophy, and I listen to him talk, and I'm just like, there's not one good thing about you. Not one.
He's a robot.
I dislike him. Yeah. Anything else on PS5?
Let's move on because I think we're heading towards 2 hours already.
Ooh, yeah. All right, so let us know in the comments what you think about the PS5. We already kind of discussed this already, but if there's anything you want to add to the conversation that we just had, let me know everything you're thinking about when it comes to the PS5. Are you excited about it? Do you want other features? What's your favorite feature about it? Any concerns about it? And yeah, you know the drill. Yeah, so we got 2 quick videos we're going to watch. One of them is Samurai Shodown, exclusive Darly Dagger gameplay reveal trailer. So Samurai Shodown, if you guys don't know, was a fighting game back in the day, and apparently they're bringing it back. I knew about this, but I have not watched anything on it yet, so we're going to kind of fucking figure out if this is even worth talking about after this or not. We might watch this and go, this fucking sucks. But we're going to find that out. And then the next video we're going to watch is the, this is like 3 weeks late, but we never watched this. Wolfenstein Youngblood official story trailer, because I have not seen this. I don't think any of us have seen it. And why not? This week is actually kind of shitty for things. I mean, the only things anyone's talking about really right now with gaming is like drama shit, and I really try and avoid that. So, because I get bored of it. Yeah, so Samurai Shodown. You guys got anything you want to say before we watch this? You guys play it back in the day?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I dabbled a little bit in SNK games, but
it was one of the many fighting games back then that was just kind of like, it doesn't exist now for a reason.
well, they made a lot of different games then.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Feel Fury's better.
I've watched some gameplay on whatever they've released so far.
Yeah? You want to reserve your comments until, or say it now?
From my understanding, from watching someone who apparently played a lot of this in the arcade, he said it plays very similar to the original, where it's more of like footsies based and a little more. There's not a lot of combos. There are a few combos, but it's not combo heavy game. It's like original Samurai Shodown.
Interesting. All right. Let's jump into it. You ready, Chris?
Yep.
All right. 3, 2, 1, and go. The art style's weird. That's a wicked ass weapon.
Vroom vroom.
June. Fuck. Okay. All right. What do we think?
not a lot.
No.
Like this. Okay, it sucks because I'm like huge into samurai stuff, and that looked a little on the boring side, to be honest. And the character is not a samurai, which is a small nitpick.
Mm-hmm.
But I really didn't like her weapon. I like it transformed into a drill and stuff. Like I don't get it. So maybe I'm a little lost on this.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
The most appealing thing about this game was the samurai stuff to me, just because I also, like everyone here, really like samurai stuff. Yeah. And graphically, though, I thought it looked kind of weird because the art style is interesting enough, but it looks bad graphically. It looked like there was no anti-aliasing, and looked really jaggy, and all the lines were kind of weird looking, and it was kind of a muddy, blurry visual style that was kind of hard to like not follow, but like the contrast is really fucking dark too and shit. Like they look like someone made that in their room last week. And they're like, dude, check this out. I'd be like, holy shit, you made that? But like, this is a game someone's gonna sell to me, and I'm just like, and if you're a Samurai Shodown person, you're like, dude, you're a fucking dickhead. Yes, but I don't know. I was expecting more from that, honestly. And everyone who watches this channel knows, like, I'm typically pretty like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Unless I love it. But, like, I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting, though, because it's, fighting games got kind of narrow there for a little bit. And you only had, like, 4 of them. And right now, it almost seems like fighting games are trying to come back. We're getting a lot of good ones again. And all the big hitters are out. And we're seeing other people it's like a renaissance is trying to happen with fighting games. So I embrace it. I'd like to try it, but I don't think I'm going to buy that unless it gets like a fucking 9 out of 10. It's not gonna, guaranteed.
It doesn't look like a AAA game, like where like Mortal Kombat 11 comes out on Tuesday. So
That's so
unfair.
No, but I mean, like,
Comparison.
it looks more of like a game that's like an homage to like people who played the older ones, and it's kind of like hey, you've been asking for this for a while. We're gonna do a little take on it. We're not gonna dive a lot of money into it, but it's gonna be fun and you're gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be what you remember Samurai Shodown to be. And it does just bring back nostalgia memories for me. I think that's what they're really banking on, though, is the nostalgia factor of this game. Of like, I remember going to pizza places and playing this weird game with samurais and people with fencing sabers and things like that.
That was the meanest thing you've ever said on the show.
What?
When you're like, okay, it looks fine, but I mean, it does look AAA. Mortal Kombat comes out next week. Okay.
I mean, it does. And in the world of fighting games right now,
it's true. It's true. But that was putting the blade in and twisting it. He went just to the highest pinnacle of AAA fighting games. This is the best looking fighting game ever made. They're not the same. Yeah, no, you're right. That was a low fucking blow, and he's opened up with that. It's like someone's like, how'd I do? And you're like, well, fucking these people who are amazing fucking are coming around next week. So
mixed up in fighting games or 50-50. You don't know where I'm going. Higher or low.
Yeah.
Higher or low.
I felt like I got punched in the stomach, and that's like my game.
I'm intrigued by it though because, like I said, the nostalgia factor is there for me. I don't know if I would spend like $60 on that game. It's more of like
no.
30-hour game,
no.
maybe. But it seems fun and interesting.
Goddamn, invade the developer and take him over. If they fucking try and sell me that for $60. Yeah. So I think we're all kind of like pretty like, yeah, okay, that exists. So I don't really have a whole lot to say at all. Let us know in the comments, what do you think about Samurai Shodown? What do you think about the new one? Are you excited for it? Is there something we're missing about that? Is there some features in it that are really fucking cool? Is there better gameplay, or is that what it looks like? And did you play the original ones? Did you like those? Did you not like those? Was it part of the huge array of fighting games that just don't exist anymore, like Eternal Champions, and the dinosaur one, Primal fucking Fist.
Primal Rage?
Yeah. Let me know in the comments everything you think about when it comes to Samurai Shodown and samurais in general. Do you like samurais? I love samurais. Yeah.
The industry does right now with all the games coming
Good.
out with samurais.
Keep pumping those out.
Do it.
That's a safe bet. I think most people are pretty stoked about that. Yeah. Except for don't do the pirate ninja thing. Don't drive into the fucking ground. Fly into the ground. Next video we're going to watch is Wolfenstein Youngblood official story trailer. This is a story trailer for Wolfenstein Youngblood. It is a game coming after Wolfenstein 2, which was fan-fucking-tastic. If you haven't played it, go play it. And yeah, I'm pretty curious about this because this is going to be, I believe, cooperative. You're going to be able to play with somebody.
I think
because you play as
them
BJ
saying that.
Blazkowicz, the fucking Terrorbillies, 2 daughters.
Yeah,
Kill
I think I
Nazis.
remember them saying that.
Yeah.
Was E3? No.
They've talked about it a couple times. Anything you guys want to say on this before? Did you guys play Wolfenstein 1 or 2?
Nope.
Holy shit. Even if you don't like first-person shooters, you should fucking play them. They're
I don't think
single
I've
player,
ever played a single
EA.
Wolfenstein in my entire life.
Huh?
I don't think I've ever played a single Wolfenstein in my entire
There's
life.
only 3 Wolfensteins you need to play. I mean, play the original one just to go, oh yeah, but I never enjoyed the original Wolfenstein. It's just like, Doom was way better. Anyway.
Welcome to shooters.
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, they exist now. I'm like, great, let's move on. But you kill zombies, Nazis, same thing. But yeah, fucking Return to Castle Wolfenstein was fucking sick when it came out originally, and And then, yeah, Wolfenstein 1 and 2 are fantastic. But even people who don't like first-person shooters, these are single-player, story-driven first-person shooters that are excellent. So I would highly, highly recommend them. EA. Every time I bring up it's fucking single-player, I'm like, the fuck's their problem? Those games are awesome, and I love multiplayer. But yeah, this one's supposed to have co-op, so that's really cool. Maybe I can get you to fucking play it. And yeah, you guys ready?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, and this is a little further in the story from 2 because in Wolfenstein 2, your BJ's I don't know if they're married, girlfriend is pregnant, so they're gonna be grown up. So, all right, ready? 3, 2, 1, and go.
It's so much worse than I thought.
We'll drive the Nazis out of Paris, just like Daddy did back home.
No phone calls, no letters. He just vanished. My agents informed me that he left the country under a false identity about 4 weeks ago.
What the hell is this place? Codename Blackbird? Paris Catacombs?
That's your lead. He's in Paris.
You know, if we say something, they aren't gonna do jack shit.
Well, I guess it's just up to us then.
All
Let me
territories.
show you something.
Whoa. It's do or die. Just like Daddy told us.
This is fucking Carpenter Brute. Fuck yeah! I saw these guys live. Oh, this looks sick.
Fuck yeah!
You guys are weird.
Oh yeah, it's Carpenter Brute.
If BJ fucking Blazkowicz doesn't want to be found, no one on God's green earth that's gonna find his ass. We got this shit, sis.
Fucking A.
Holy shit, I'm stoked for this.
Ever killed Nazis before?
We were born to kill Nazis. Yeah! Can we make it? How the fuck should I know?
July. All right, what do we think?
It looks like an id game.
Yeah, it does.
No, it looks cool. I am glad that visually. At first, I was kind of like weirded out by it visually. I was like, I don't remember. I thought Wolfenstein looked better than this, and then it started showing like,
Oh, that looked great.
well, they showed the
Yeah,
gameplay
yeah.
part, and I was like, oh no, that looks really good.
Yeah.
yeah.
As soon as I saw him, like, oh shit, it looks fucking good.
It was just the character models right off the bat when they started talking. I was like, they don't look as polished as I thought they.
Yeah.
I remember them looking, but it seems like they did better in the gameplay parts of the game than they did in like the cutscene parts. It was really weird. But it looks great though visually. I was just being a little nitpicky because I watched you play a little bit of the second one, and they're beautiful looking games. So, but I kind of come to expect that when it comes to id games. Even if the game's subpar, there is always something visually appealing to look at in them. So yeah, no, I mean co-op is another nice feature as well. Obviously, I liked their dynamic of interacting with each other. Like when she shot and was like thumbs up at top, it's fun. So
Yeah, they really glorify and kind of have like an Inglourious Bastards feel to like Nazi killing in the Wolfenstein games. So it's just like, it's one of the only times you can kind of like glorify the idea of just murdering people.
Yeah.
So, and in that definitely took it a step further, especially towards the end of Wolfenstein 2. There's a really crazy scene that is fucking awesome. But there's a lot of awesome scenes in that. But that kind of reminded me of that kind of vibe. There's just like this ridiculous carnage. The music really fucking worked with it well too, especially since it's like based in the 80s. They're doing the whole synthwave thing, which is interesting because the other ones. It's interesting to see this world where Nazis essentially took over for a while, move into even up to the 80s. So it'd be kind of cool to see that. But But yeah, I'm fucking stoked for this game. I love the last two. Id's just killing it right now with all their games. Everything they're making right now is just great. And being able to play, for sure. And that's why they're taking it easy right now. And just getting shit talked to them the whole time. And yeah, being able to play an id game in co-op is going to be awesome. That kind of game really lends itself to it because there's just a lot of like dual wielding, unloading and shit. And it'd be really fun to play with someone else to do that too. And especially see how they do. They're very cinematic, dynamic with co-op experience. So I'm really excited for it. I can't wait for it.
It looks like a great, exciting game, to be honest. The music really did it for me, though, I think.
Oh,
it
it's
really
great.
pumped me up for it. It was such a good touch for that one. But I've never played much of these Wolfenstein games at all, actually. So it got me interested, but I don't know if I'll actually commit to it.
If you ever get a chance, just start playing the first one. But if you really want to love it, just play 2 and then go back and play the first one if you really want to. But because that one's just so fucking good. But I think the story alone would get you interested into it because it's done so good. Like it's really weird that the story was that good. I remember when I played the first new Wolfenstein, I was like, what the hell? They made like a story to this that's interesting. It's not just like, here, BJ Blazkowicz fucking kill the Nazis. I mean, you do that, but there's actually like drama and character development and there's actually like a saga that's going on in Wolfenstein 2 that just carries on and you're like, wow, these characters are actually really interesting and really well thought out and stuff. Like it's really awesome. Yeah. Nice to do that with Doom, although Doom guy's just John Wick, so he just walks in fucking just killing shit. So.
Giving nuts to his little baby self.
Yeah.
I still couldn't get over their accent the whole time, though. That really hard Southern accent they had the whole time.
It's that chick in Devil May Cry who's like that, too.
Oh, God, yeah. That's just kind of ridiculous. I need to beat that game.
I need to play that game.
It's cool. It's cool.
Double stretch and must be, time to move soon.
Time to get the fuck out of here. Anything you guys want to add to that?
I mean, not really. The biggest thing is with, them coming out with this, I do think, I was pretty sure there's another Doom coming out, and then Rage, it's killing it right now.
100%. Let us know in the comments what you think about Wolfenstein. Was it Youngblood? Youngbloods, the Terror Twins, Terror Billy. Are you excited for it? You're not excited for it? What do you think about id games? Are you excited for the new Doom? What else do you want to play? Rage 2. Apparently, I think it was on GameSpot or IGN. They were like, they said something about they played Rage 2 and now they're excited because they're like, oh, we played before, we're kind of like meh, but now we played and now we're really excited. And I'm like, the fuck changed? So they're dumb. Anyway, id is killing it. Let me know everything you think about it in the comments below. But that's gonna do it for this episode of Tastecast, episode 93. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Enjoy this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Tumblr, Twitter, and Facebook at Tasty Gaming. Check out my streams and Chris's streams on Twitch at Tasty Senpai, all one word. That's me. And Chris is Tasty_fruit. You can also watch my streams on YouTube because when I stream, I dual stream and it works out great. And I had a guy come into the stream last night and he's like, wow, there's actually people on YouTube watching a stream. And I was like, do people not watch streams on YouTube? Am I just a weird guy that has people watch me on YouTube? But yeah, pick your poison. Watch me wherever the fuck you want. I do want to try and maybe do like a triple stream on a different platform, but I don't know if people are using... what's the Microsoft one? Mixer, yeah. I don't know if people are actively using that. I've talked to a couple people who use it, though. So it's kind of weird. It's like their own little club. We have Discord linked down below. Talk to us anytime, all the time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms. Like I said before, if you don't got those eyes, you just really fucking hate looking at shit, or you don't want to have those eyes, you want to get rid of those, you want to get augments, Cyberpunk's coming, you can listen to us. Yeah, my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
I'm Chris.
Until next episode, which will be Taste Tuesday, have a good weekend, guys, and take it easy.